a minute. Sorry about that, folks, but that was so fun to watch this one, ain't it? On Facebook. But enough of that. Part 2 with the brutal Orlando Alejandro Zamora getting on with William Elvin Manzano. I have a hard time to pronounce it, but okay, that's okay. Alright, let's get on with part 2, kids. So, wala nang introduction dyan dahil atat na ako pagkatapos ko pinagsabi yung kangaroo na yan na nag-aasik na ng game. Muntik na. Be mindful, folks. He's still on probation. Period. Pero, kailangan ko ba ng king-size kangaroo na katapat niya? Never mind. Alright, let's get it on, Will. I'm in my very, very special guest for today. Creative director ng MWF, tama ba?
Yes.
Sige.
Itong part 2, dito na ba yung dito controversial question?
I know you had experience with the man who portrayed Mayhem Brannigan, but seriously, I know mas bata pa siya sa'yo, tama ba ako?
Yeah. I probably am one of the next to Ace, if I'm not mistaken. Ako na yung pinakamatanda dun.
Sumunod lang ata si CBL sa'yo.
No!
Ano si CBL is the youngest? Si youngest.
CBL is young.
Si Mike Shannon na sumunod sa'yo, no?
Yeah. Mike Shannon and I are we're of the same age.
And then si CBL bata. Kaya nga, man baby eh. Bata pa lang nagiging baby face na dahil nawawala ang kanyang hair at such a young age, but it did happen.
I'll be the one I'm always the one who was very frank and very straight with CBL. All right? And I think the reason why I think the reason why he's like that is that he takes himself too seriously. And I would always tell him that even before. Like, dude, you take yourself too seriously. Chill, man.
That explains my one-time bootcamp days sa PW way back in early of July 2016. Yes, I was part of the batch 6. And believe it or not, that was the last time I saw CBL there in PWR. Yung sa mga next shows, wala si Kalbo. Wala si Kalbo. Bakit? Hair transplant ba to or what? Pero doon na natin malalaman yung hindi inaasahan na pangyayari. So let's get on with you did write the no curtains needed there, and then you even include Mayhem Brannigan at dito mo na-expose yung the man behind this character. I mean, some said that he medyo chaotic personality daw yung tao na to the point that I remember Sonny Go wouldn't say that from what the sources he heard about him during his time in PWR, yung first year, he is, in his own words, take it from me, in his own words, malevolent politicking a-hole. So, I need to know on your part kung totoo ba to? Kung talagang ganyan siya sa simula o immature lang, that's all. O talagang overly serious.
Everyone was immature. Including me, including Mike, including everyone. No one was mature during that time.
And to the point na hindi na napansin na kung may ilan mukhang naging bullies na. Ganun? O hindi ba?
No, it was already getting toxic. But it's because, look, if I am like 100% shooting here, because quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Because I'm talking out of what I observed. It felt like, and without me there, without me physically, I was already here in Hong Kong then. It's like letting kids run around.
And look what they did. Yun. Tama ka nga.
That's how I saw it. It's like these are kids running around without adult supervision. And I'm not saying that I'm mature because I probably like a bit more, but not really. So when they were left like without really adult supervision, and, and probably it's also my fault because like CBL was still like holding on to me as something like an anchor. Like he would call me up every day and then tell me the problems, and then I'd give him advice and things. And then I just got tired of it. I just got tired of it, and I just stopped receiving his messages. I just stopped. I just told him I don't want to do it anymore, and that's what happened. So
Mm.
what happened was, um, and look, Mayhem Branigan, the guy is like me. He's an artist, so I really get the chaotic personality, and I really get the temperament. Kasi most artists, and I've worked with artists, I've worked with creative people. He's one of them, and he's a rapper. He was a very creative. He had lots of ideas in his head. I totally understand that, and I don't know. Um, sa sa personal experience ko with him physically, he was always an okay guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him,
I see.
except that, when we were writing the show, when we were writing Renaissance, I was I was writing I was writing his character in a certain way, and he did not like how he was
Portrait.
uh, portrayed. Actually, not even the way he was portrayed. The way I remember is that um, we ran the storyline where he got suspended.
Oh, yun.
So so as a writer, I said you can't get suspended and just go back the next show with a match. You have to sit this one out, but you'll have to do an angle, and that's what I was telling him. And I was not there physically. I was just telling them what I wanted to do through Facebook message. I was writing my angles. I was sending the angles to them, and so um, I told them that I don't want Mayhem Branigan to have a match uh, because he just got suspended. Um, so if you're suspended, you're gonna have to sit one out. So he
And you
had
gotta
this
play by
match
the
with
game, yung sa part ng storyline ba?
yeah, it has to be some kind of solid thing because
Mm.
the way I remember it is that he had a match with Apocalypse in Renaissance, and then we did an angle with him being suspended. So we are going to do something to develop that story in that match, in that show, in sa
Mm-hmm.
susunod na show after Renaissance. And then he did not want to do the story. He wanted to have a match, and I was like, "Look, I'm doing this. I'm writing this story for you to be developed. This is the ano, this is the angle that I wanted to do." But apparently, he did not read the script.
Oh,
Even
shoots.
read the script.
Mm.
He was just so adamant na he wanted to have a match.
Wow.
And
Marunong na sumagot sa
um,
mga mas nakakatanda pa sa kanya.
again, I'm not. Again, this is not an attack. This is not a personal attack
Mm-hmm.
on that guy, the
I
guy
got
who's
that.
playing Mayhem Branigan.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, what I would say is that everyone was immature back then. So
Tama
so
ka
I
nga.
don't know who he is right now. If you ask me who he is right now, I don't know. If you
Ah,
ask me
yes.
if he's an asshole, I would say no. I don't think he's an asshole. He was
Maybe
just very.
he just
He was a
determined to do
stubborn
things
guy
his
back.
way.
Yeah, he
I
was a
understand
stubborn
that.
guy when we were working together. He was a stubborn guy, but we were all immature back then. So I'm not going to propagate any judgment on him.
I
Um,
understand. We're gonna leave it
yeah,
behind. Kasi nangyari na
yeah,
yun. Nangyari na
yeah.
yun. Bad
That's
LB.
so
Tapos
that's
na
what
tayo
happened.
dun. Mm-hmm.
But that's why I left. Because CBL in one of our conversations, CBL told me, "Look, I'm going to put my foot down and give Mayhem Branigan his match." I said, "Okay, I'm here in Hong Kong. I have a job. I'm earning money. I don't need this. I'm doing this because it's fun. And if we are going to be this toxic, then I don't want to do it anymore because I don't want and I don't need more toxic shit." So
I
I left.
understand that.
Um, so I left. But I was always in contact with with Mike Shannon, and I knew that he was going to do the MWF thing. And I said, if you need something, then just call me up. So
Mm.
we remained friends.
You're good friends to
Um,
this day.
yeah, to this day. And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Mm.
Even after I left PWR, I was still friends with Fuel.
Owen Babasa, yes.
Yeah, I was always friends with all. I can't remember a time when we were not okay. Uh, I wasn't okay with CBL then. Dude, if
That was way
people
back
hate
then.
him now, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, if people hate him the way people hate him now, I probably hated him more. That time. So, uh, but time heals wounds.
Yes,
And
we know that.
you know, there. So I had friends in PWR, I had friends in MWF, and I was just like, I was reading their what's happening in both promotions. I was watching their clips on YouTube, and
Good.
for a certain time, I reconnected with CBL, and we became friends again,
Mm.
even before the whole shit show happened with him in PWR.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember him like they filled up MCS, and we could see the pictures of how many people were watching, and
Mm-hmm.
we were okay.
Yeah.
So there. So it leads to I left PWR, but like just give it a year or two, and we were okay again. Um, and then I started getting involved with MWF because I brought in Ho Ho Lun, and then
Mm.
after that, the Tarek was putting the team together, and he called me up and said, let's write the shows together. So we now
And
now
look at
now
what you
we're
guys
here.
did. I mean, yung
Yeah.
ginawa ninyo, the way you write shows and then yung mga matches and everything, the way na nakwento doon, yung how you tell the stories on the Brutal One standards.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I would always say is like, um, we are because Tarek and I are like we're theater people, so that's
Mm.
what we're trying to inject. Like
That explains.
we're trying to inject like a semblance of a very well threaded, as solid as possible storytelling universe. And I know
Mm.
I would be the first one to say that last year we had a lot of the things that were out of our control na hindi namin natutukan masyado yung pagka-solid nung storytelling, but
Mm.
I think 2018, like I'm very proud of that, like when we were doing the shows in Bahay ng Alumni.
Ayun,
So
yun. I
yun,
have too many memories for that. I've been
yeah.
there couple times. Maliban lang yung isa sa mga shows doon kasi may iba akong nakal.
Yeah. So there, I do hope that when we get back doing MWF again
Mm.
hopefully after the COVID shit,
Yeah, they're right.
um,
This one's already messed
yeah,
up everything. Even in
yeah,
Philippine wrestling scene, and we were gonna tackle that later. Mm.
yeah. We can't do anything, like we can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
So
Out of
I
safety
do
of
hope,
everyone, Out of safety.
yeah, I do hope that when we get back, we can be more in control of the stories we're telling, and we always just wanted to provide the fans the best stories that we could tell. As I said, I leave the putting together of the matches with people who want to do that. So So my role is just to get the stories together, and then I pass it on to people like sila Mike Shannon and sila Robinson, sila Fabio Makiti,
Mm.
and they're the ones who generally talk about that. Um, but there, it's like that's how it is. That's the story of my being a wrestling creative.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Before that one, we're gonna interject a little bit of things. Where I recall na ano after CBL got fired from PWR, you're one of the many people had discovered this one, and I kind of wrote and read something na meron ka nabasa kay ano the man behind Jake De Leon character. If yung sinamention mo, you never expected na mangyari to like that. I mean, even at your own standards, you said that this guy has a heart of gold in real life, but you
Who?
never expect CBL. But you never expected he would end up this way. But I had a feeling you haven't given that kind of fine judgment yet because even to this day, you have to agree with me. CBL never explained his side of the story. It's simple as that. But I understand that and I feel like nasa kanya na kung handa na talaga. So it would be best we leave it behind. See if he get his shit together and then he will reveal his side on what actually happened that would ruin his reputation permanently.
I think I believe that he was not he still is not yet given the chance to explain his side, or even if people ask him, he would always say things like, I can't discuss it because of like the lawyers, and I don't know if it's true or not, but here's what I can tell you, guys.
Okay, go.
I heard his side, and I heard the side at least from JDL. Um, just to make it clear, I have no beef with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with JDL. More than okay with JDL because he works. He had a few matches here in Hong Kong, and I picked him up from the airport, and I picked him up twice, I think, or just once. No, just once. I picked up Ken Warren and Robin Sane, and then I picked up Rex Lawin and JDL.
Mm.
So we're more than okay. And as you know, JDL worked with us in MWF, and fantastic. Have no problems whatsoever.
Ay, naalala ko pa yan.
Um,
Yun. Yung
yeah,
JDL Mr. Lucha feud.
yeah, yeah.
Yung storyline na-added nyo based on real life events ha. Langya kayo ha. Galing nyo ha.
That's the magic of things. I mean, oh God,
I still haven't
I
forgot that
love
one the
what we do.
way Mr. Lucha manhandles JDL. Tapon dito sa mga upuan, tapon dito, tapon doon. Hindi ko makakalimutan yan. To this day
I,
hindi ako magsisinungaling sa'yo. I mean, pag naalala ko, parang gusto ko pa itong panoodin. Lagi hayop kayo.
yeah. I love the way we did that whole thing, even with the sit down interview with Tarek and Mr. Lucha. Everything that JBL did in MWF, I'm very proud of it.
Ah,
By the way, I digress. So let me just get back. No, I was saying, I heard the story from CBL side. I heard the story from JBL side, and I believe both of them. I believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle, and um, unless I see new information that I haven't heard before, I'm gonna reserve my judgment. And
mm,
right now we're working with CBL, and he's been an integral part of the MWF experience, and as far as we know, everything's going well. So if there's new information that we don't know, that I still don't know, that would be proven, then yeah, I can change my opinion or whatever if that's it. It's
mm,
as simple as that. And
mm-hmm.
I read a lot of opinions on Twitter, hating me or us for that stand that we're taking. But I understand where they're coming from, and I don't hate any one of them. But yeah, um, that's my final stand is that unless there's new information, then I'm going to stick with what I know, and what I believe is that the truth is somewhere in the middle, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
my story to tell
That's his now.
what that
But
means.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go too far. Having CBL on my show one day, I'll be honest with you, out of a question until I decided that he'd be the one to ask me to it, not me. Hanggang dito
I
lang ako, period.
yeah, and I think everyone should, like, we can't stop anyone from forming opinions out of the stories that we know,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
But I guess I long for the day when he's willing to tell his side of the story, and he's given the platform. Um,
He has to defend himself because, truth to be told, hindi ko favorite yung the man who portrays CBL. Yung CBL character na kasi, I'll be honest with you, he's one of my favorite heels during his time in PWR. And even in MWF, although medyo tumutone down continuous yung character niya or pang lapdog lang siya ng yung administration ni Coco Gas. But that
because we haven't written this, we haven't told the ending of the story yet. We're still in the middle of that, and I hate
yes,
it that
yes.
it's like the year has been passing and we can't continue the story. But
Because of the COVID
what
19. Boo, boo,
yeah,
boo, boo, boo,
so what
boo.
I can say is that CBL, as a performer, is one of my favorite people to work with
Mhm.
because he's so open to everything, and there's there's a certain openness when, because I'm working with the guys directly with their promos, and there's a certain openness with him, and you know because I think he also has like acting experience when he was young, when he was doing like high school theater or something. And there's this something like
CBL?
he, yeah. He's very easy to direct.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like I would always say like, okay, dude, this is how I want you to say this line. This is how I want you to. Can you say this line again? But this is what I want to feel when you say it. And he would always hit it. So he's one of my most favorite characters to work with.
Mm.
So yun, I just hope that we could tell the story again
Yes.
after the COVID thing.
The
Yeah,
Royal Flush, I still haven't forgot that. Kids, please be mindful. Royal Flush is considered the original faction within the Philippine Pro Wrestling.
yeah.
From PWR's early days up until you know it already the rest, so we're not gonna jump onto that. It depends. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Kids, before we're gonna ask this next question kina Mr. William Elvin Manzano, well, may mga dalawang mga mascots na gusto magpa-shout out at oh, kangaroo! Probation naman! Nakalimutan mo! Be gentle, okay? Be gentle. Sorry about my friend of mine. He has speech impediment issues, you know. Speech impediment, my ass. I even brought in one of those guys at the time sa MWF shows, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, both of them were the violated victims of trial
Kyle,
season. Do you remember that part where he
I
grabbed this
remember that.
marmot right here and may bata nanonood eh. Si kaya nakalimutan niya, pati yung kangaroo hindi pinapatawad. Pero at least, wala naman disgrasya eh lalaki pero feeling nila bang yung pumapatos kanila eh hindi lalaki, parang batang bakla. Yeah, I mean it. Sorry about that. The Supreme Commander has one sick humor in his side. But Screw Kyle Season. Nah, I won't give him my rabies. Marmots don't have rabies. And kangaroos too. Kangaroos? You want to die? On probation. Tama na kayong dalawa. Kami naman muna ni Will, okay? Na system na kayo ng airtime ko, kaya tsumumpi muna kayo, ha? Oy, huwag kayong susuntukan sa labas. Tandaan ninyo. Lalo na ikaw, kangaroo, may atraso ka pa sa akin noon. Yeah, this wood potato chips thing. Kaya na-KO ako, pero at least hindi nakalabas yung dugo sa bunganga ko. Ay, talaga. Kyle season. Kids, kung isipin nyo tatanggapin ko si Kyle season, kung talagang desidido ang hype na yan, walang problema. Papasok to sa akin. Pero kung susubukan niya akong murahin, no problem. Magiging salamangkero ako ng isang araw, pupasok ako sa kanyang mundo at walang pulis o kahit sino man mga otoridad na mapipigil sa aming dalawa na uubusan namin ang sarili namin para malaman kung sino sa amin yung matira matibay. Ganun lang kasimple. You get the idea what I mean by that, Will?
Yeah. I love Kyle Pearson though. No, I mean, the guy who plays Kyle Season is also one of the best performers I ever worked with, and that includes all the performers that I've worked with in the theater. I would say Kyle is one of the most creative kids I've ever known.
Yeah, yes.
Um,
Eventually, of the
Not
guys
just
that
in
you work
MWF.
in MWF, aside from CBL, sino yung mga pinaka-the best? Yung you work with, in terms of storyline and also outside. Not kayfabe.
Ah, um, I'm proud of what I did with, as I said, I'm proud of what I really did with JDL and Mr. Lucha. Um, the wow, you just parin mo lang yung clip of that whole segment now. It's like that's one of the best things that I was ever involved in. Um, Kyle season, yeah. Actually, the whole hassle thing, whenever I would work with Fabio and Kyle and Lucas, the liwanags. Actually, I would say like, mm, if not all, most of the MWF performers get it. Like they all want to work on their characters. They all want to be a part of the universe, um, and that goes for everyone. Even the new guys like Nigel, San Jose. So
Yes.
it's like, um, everyone is like, they know. I think there's a there's an understanding that if you're in MWF, you have to fit in with like the storylines and the universe that we're trying to create. And everyone is so passionate to be a part of that, and that's what
Mm.
makes me so proud of like working with all of them. And the Liwanag, like Moises Liwanag, the way he's like he's thinking off the cuff with all his promos and
Favorite
everything.
ko pa ng
Like
mga
those are
liwanags.
one of the best moments that I remember in MWF. So I guess like everything and everyone, the way we shoot our vignettes, it's all ano, it's all wonderful. Um, Creatively, MWF is a very happy playground for me creatively.
Mm. Bihira ako narinig na may away backstage unlike yung sa PW of course, pero I must give you guys credit. You're beyond the word professionalism, and I'm very proud of you guys, big time. I hope na you will continue what I personally believe na you know how to handle business properly, and then everything will be one big happy family. Don't you agree with me, Will?
Yeah, we're not perfect. Like we have problems backstage, but the thing is that we don't discuss them because we try in our very best to
Mm,
deal with them internally first. I'm not saying everyone loves each other or no, but
mm,
everyone is willing to work with each other. I think
mm.
that's the key there. is
They know how to put their
everyone
differences
is,
aside.
yeah, right, right, and everyone
Difference
is
that.
everyone is willing to work with each other, and we have our problems too backstage, but we're dealing with it as internally and as fair as possible. And
Mm.
we're not perfect, and I'm not saying that you won't hear stories there. I don't know if there are things floating around, but I would say that we're doing with whatever problems there are. We are talking about it internally, and hopefully things are gonna be fine.
Hopefully so. Pero at least okay
Yeah.
na okay. I'm looking for more improvements in Manila Wrestling Federation one day once COVID-19 meets its demise. But I'll be honest with you, my greatest fear is that baka next year pakatuloy pa rin yung nightmare na to, and there's a portion of me says na I would not gonna argue with everyone kasi no one know the magnitude of how serious this pandemic is worldwide. USA alone, I'd be the first to admit it in the show. I was so pissed off on 50% of the guys from US don't wear masks or do safety protocol because unconstitutional daw. Unconstitutional my ass. Nasaan ba yung common sense yung mga to? Yung mga gumawa ng yung mga safety protocols, yung mga ganun, who follow the and knowing that their safety and health is far more above their economy, pero babawi rin sila. Those are the kind of people that I respect. As far as Trump supporters concerned, not all of them were like ganun. Maybe some Trump supporters were quite masyado silang dead serious sa pagiging safety. So yeah, they stick to that, but still a portion of their attitude had me reminded that why they still stinks. Really, like those others as well. I just don't get it. What's their yung
There are a
masaklap.
lot of there are a lot of factors going into that, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll be talking all night if we. But one thing is that okay, face masks. Why do we have to wear face masks? Because it's more. Uh, it's it's not for yourself actually.
For
Like wearing
everyone.
face mask. What you do for yourself is that you become hygienic and you wash your hands often. That's what you do for yourself. You're wearing the mask because of consideration for other people.
Yeah, in consideration, they
Inisip
must
para
have
sa'yo.
forgot.
Like,
They must have forgot.
yeah. So it's not more like your freedom is taken away from you, but it's more of like, dude, wear the mask so that if the unfortunate thing happens that you have COVID-19, you won't be able to spread it as fast as you would without it. But then there are lots of factors. So let's
Sapo
talk about
talaga nung
wrestling,
sampal
man.
yung
I'm
mga
here
to.
because of wrestling. I'm here
Wrestling
because I
na.
want to talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling muna tayo. Puro tayo magbugbugan. Yung mga favorite part ng wrestling ko nilalaro ko sa W2K19 on which, well, na-inspired ako sa idea na fictional na wrestling company. I'm beginning to do that on WWE2K15 on which kampante ako pero hindi ako nakontento dahil wala mga female rosters doon. Then, there comes WWE2K16, 17, 18, and 19 pero I never played 2K20 kahit yung PC format niya. I always
I
played
haven't
them
played
on
season.
Microsoft Windows version pero yung 2K20 akala ko yung PC version ligtas sa criticism pero hindi pala may same side effects as Xbox and PlayStation. To my absolute horror. Kasi maganda yung pinipresenta nila Furthermore, I never play yung mga wrestlers doon. I played yung mga create a wrestlers. Kasi, dediretso kita, Will. Mahilig ako gumawa ng kwento. Yung
Okay.
mga natrip ko sa buhay, o base sa mga pelikula na napanood ko, o just self-creativity, like that. One of my favorite factions in there will be Hoodlum Incorporated. We have these three guys. This guy who has a very personal rivalry slash feud with the Chinese since bata sila, yung unang silang nag-ekwentro sa labas at suntok kalye and so forth at nagiging violently personal na to dahil each of these guys had his own younger half sister, and then sabihin natin, these guys didn't know that their younger half sister, respectively, hates their big bro, and they know how to get at them, and this is how it's done. One of them had an affair with the other, and then the other one had an affair on the other, and then nang nalaman na, siguro alam mo naman ang resulta, di ba?
Yeah. That sounds like a wrestling storyline. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds like something I would watch.
Pero ang hindi akalain ng dalawa na yan, those two actually were best friends in real life. Pero tina-tone down nila a bit para ginagawa nila mga kapsyaw yung dalawa na yan. Ang mga gunggong, stupid. Para lang makapatay. Tapos may isang sadista na pugilist, yung part ng hoodlum. He's a Italian-American. Ala Rocky Balboa yung dating. Medyo curly hair, may patilya. At nakasmile siya. Yung gusto niyong upakan kahit sino for championship glory? No. For his taste in kicking everyone's asses who dare to challenge him. In fact, one of my favorite storylines that I would like to work with this wrestling character is his feud with an Asian American nerd by the name of Edwin Lawrence. And then Edwin Lawrence has a very incredible undefeated streak, more so than this boxer, whom I named Barbaro Balboa. That Barbaro was his parang middle name. His real name is Bartolome. But I don't know who gave that shitty name. But he likes it. And then Balboa, kaano-ano mo ba si Rocky Balboa? Oh, hindi. Walang relation. Pero basta yung trip niya, boxing yung kahit sinong gusto niya. Pero, yes, he incorporated boxing or fist fights sa wrestling matches. He does suplex to or everything. Pero, mas trip niya talagang manapak. To the point na yung kalaban niya mukhang nang nakasuot na proverbial crimson mask. Remember proverbial crimson mask. WWE, those are the days before tinotone down a bit yung blood and violence and still chair to the head because of the Chris Benoit issue.
Yeah.
That still persists to
And
this
rightfully
day.
so. No one should take chair shots to the head. No one.
Yeah, lupit. And I forgot, yung huli nilang member sa Hoodlum Incorporated, taga-Italian siya, full-blooded. And then, everyone thought he's stupid. But this guy has intelligence. And he enjoys brutalize people as much as he's playing psychological with them. Oh yeah, yung leader nila, yung na-mention ko na yung meron siyang personal na away sa inchik na to, kalbo, tapos penchant for wearing traditional Chinese clothes, like that. Parang ala martial arts na villain sa mga movies. Doon ako na-inspire sa character na yan. Originally, I named Afukin. Pero sinabi yung isang kaibigan ko na Chinese na ang baho naman ng pangalan niya. Palitan mo naman. So, I named him Li Fukin. That's all. I kinda heard from that person, babae siya, and then I kinda laughed. Not hysterically, laugh na laugh ako talaga sobra. So, this guy, this in Chinese, he has his own faction too. The Asian Triad. Members, well, may lahi silang inchik, pero these guys had, meron silang buong dugo ng isang Japanese, and then the other one is a South Korean. Hindi North Korean, South Korean.
Ang laki nung ang laki na ng fictional universe mo.
Higit pa dyan. In fact, first time ko i-discuss dito sa show na to. So, Will, ito yun, let's say may faction rivalry dun, but hindi lang Asian Triad at Hoodlum Incorporated. There are other factions too. One is the European nation, consisted of British, and there's this Danish, and then there's this guy, I forgot kung anong bansa yun, pero one of the three members, four, kasi may silang babae doon na wrestler na ewan ko kung taga Danish siya or what, pero may part ng storyline siya na connection with this guy from the Philippines. Sabihin natin in non-kayfabe terms, he's one of the co-founders of this fictional wrestling company called the International Pro Wrestling Association Incorporated, or IPWA for short. Makikita mo
For
sa
sure.
YouTube, sa Facebook account ko, Rolando Alejandro Zamora. You will look at the videos in there and then you get the idea. I even created
I'll
a
check it out.
character out of Frankie 13 himself. I mean, second generation son ni Frankie 13, forming the Neo Youngblood, along with the second generation the Glitch Morgan Vaughn, and then yung cousin ni Frankie 13. And then, yes, he even include yung anak ni Frankie na babae rin, pero brutal lumaban. Based on one of Frankie's good friends, of course, yung appearance, almost. And then they love to cause chaos. And then their first victim will be the second generation children of the naughty boys of Philippine wrestling. You know who I refer to. Si
Yeah.
Trian, si Evan, yung mga ka-batch 6 ko sa PWR, yung sa bootcamp days. Out of one day lang ako dun, to be honest, kasi pinigil ako ni mother there eh. I had to give it kasi medyo challenging relationship ko sa kanya. So, despite of it, I still support Filipino wrestling, either PWR, MWM, or World Underground Wrestling PH as a whole. Because this is the thing we got in this country. We should even be proud of. Something that you have to agree on me with that.
I agree with you 100%, Mayor.
Oh yeah, I forgot
I,
something, kids.
yeah. Do you
Rolando
have
Alejandro
a
Zamora and
hard hitting?
Associates. You talk go first.
Ah, no,
Uh,
I'm
uh,
I'm waiting for more heavy questions, man. I want to answer controversial questions. I want to answer
controversial
Yeah,
questions.
I want to
Okay.
answer things that would make people hate me even more. No, I'm joking.
Okay, out of
I'd
curiosity
answer
ha, Philippine
yeah,
wrestling's reputation can be challenging at times. You know that. From the
yeah.
CBL controversy, and then look, naging successful yung PWR as a whole after under the new management, and then yung COVID-19, doon na nabulgar yung mga hindi maganda. I'm referring to the speaking out movement in related to the sexual harassment and misconduct allegations worldwide yung sa mga independent to major pro wrestling companies. But PH Wrestling was inspired because, well, in the accounts of PWR female wrestlers, si Nina and si Crystal, excuse me na, 谢谢你我亲爱的妻子老婆Mrs. Bigay ako tubig. I think kailangan ko medyo mapapasok na yung boses ko. Okay, they
Kailangan natin
reveal
yan.
about Alex Cuevas. Okay, let me put this stick on this guy. I love that guy. I love this Quicksilver dude. I take a pictures of him one time, and then dirty secrets revealed by Nina, which is ang brutal naman to, pati kay Crystal. But on Crystal's part, not only si Alex Cuevas. Shit! I thought some of the guys in PW are decent people, but I could be wrong about it. Don't you agree with me?
I don't know. Well, I worked with Nina and Crystal. Pleasant pleasant working memories with them. Um, I haven't met Alex Cuevas. I'm I think we met, but I don't remember. So I wouldn't be able to discuss this one. But in general, I am happy that the women are speaking out. Obviously, a lot of or a number of the male performers are affected, and that's the price you have to pay. With the kind of mindset that a few male performers have, this is bound to happen. And there's no perfect time for it to happen than now, because you're telling everyone that these things are not gonna be tolerated.
For better or
And
for worse, ha? For
yeah,
better or for
ano yun?
worse.
Yeah,
Yung,
yeah. I think anything that would empower the victim the women, is for better. Um, in the MWF side again, there are there are things that are not my story to tell.
Okay.
But the thing is that at the same time, we already have dealt with whatever has happened with us. So I'm not saying it's just PW that was affected. We were affected too, and we were dealing with it internally. Um, but I, I am saddened that um, a few names were dropped from the PWR side of things. I
Si
don't
Peter
know what's
Versosa,
happening
favorite ko
from
yung pero
yeah.
visit na leche
Uh,
na.
I don't know what's happening from their side of the fence, but what I could say is that I hope they learn from this. Uh, Without mincing words, if I am given a chance to talk to them and they ask me what I think, what I would say is that this is a real world consequence that doesn't have anything to do with wrestling.
Uh,
These are things that you have to deal with as people, not as wrestlers, not as workers. So it's time to give up the feuds on Twitter and stuff. I think it's time for us to drop that toxicity. That I mean, I'm no saint in this. I've had like confrontations online with certain people, but I'd be the first one to admit that it's wrong, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I haven't done it since. So if they have if I was going to be asked, the first thing I would tell them is that these things we learn from as people. And this is not the time to showboat or to gloat. Just drop the fucking act on Twitter. I think let's clean up our act. Um, there's no sense. Like I don't know why people keep on bickering on Twitter. I really
Ayun,
don't
doon na
understand.
reveal
I
sa
really
no,
don't
Twitter.
understand.
I saw them a lot to my absolute horror and some accusations on some popular guys on PWR na he's one of the 11 guys that had to resign from the company after he was announced that he was suspended like 2 shows. You know who's this guy? Somewhat na makipag-work kay Big Striker but hindi natuloy. Yeah.
Uh,
Pero I don't want to go too far that. Who am
yeah,
I to judge? Am I there?
we can't
No.
comment. We can't comment on things that are not proven. We can't comment on things that we are not affected. That we are not directly concerned about. I certainly am not going to comment on the side of like victims who haven't spoken out yet, who haven't detailed their stories. That's their story to tell. We
Mm,
don't have the right to be the first one to spill their stories or whatever. But
yeah.
my wish, yun lang. If anything, and this is why I wanted to do this podcast too. So if people are watching me right now, um, I just hope that all of this is coming out, not just the sexual harassment thing, which is a very very
Bullying
horrible
pa.
thing. But yeah, I mean, let's just treat each other professionally. For fuck's sake, it's called professional wrestling. And the last thing we do is being is the last thing we have is professionalism. We have like these small feuds, we have small issues, and the first thing we do is to complain and to bicker about it on Twitter. That is not professional at all. So,
Hmm,
and I
tama
know
ka nga.
they're gonna I know they're gonna be if they hear it, if they watch this, they're gonna be defensive about it. I don't mean to offend anyone. I don't mean to offend anyone or to make anyone feel bad. It's just that, maybe we should start treating each other as people. We have to
Tama.
be
Tama
direct and
ka nga.
honest to each other, but let's stop the insults. Let's stop the thing. And maybe we can all sit down and deal with it and talk about it like adults would. That this is an industry that we love. This is a business that we love. This is uh, this is something that we have built and we have taken care of. So let's keep it that way. Let's talk about the problem. Let's talk about the problems properly. What could be done with them? So yun lang. That's my honest take on it.
Mm.
Um, sana lang talaga sana lang tumigil na yung mga Twitter feuds or online insults or whatever.
Pati na yung mga podcast na no, kung sa may mga sort of revelation of the accusations and everything like that. That's one of them, right? Apparently.
Yeah, I think let's give the stage to the victim. Let's let's give them let's give them the biggest respect we could give possible. Nina has spoken down, has spoken out. Crystal has spoken out. Maybe other people would, and I hope they do. Let them tell their stories. But unless we have something concrete, let's not judge people first. I think.
Tama ka nga.
But let's always okay. Let's not judge people. But take uh, let's always be on the side of the victims on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yun na lang. So if Nina says something, if Crystal says something, that would have much more weight for me.
Kasi
Yun.
serious yung story na yan, pre.
Yeah,
Serious yung
it's a
story
serious
yan na.
story, yeah.
Legit yan.
And these are grave accusations.
No, tama,
So,
tama.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to. I mean, I don't know. Like people can say whatever they like, but these women, I don't think they will say anything that would endanger their reputation or their careers, and they just want their stories out, and let's hear them and
Pagbigyan
let's judge
natin. Babae. That's
accordingly.
all. As long as they're telling the truth, I'm okay with
For
that.
me, for me, the gender doesn't even matter. If a victim speaks out, if someone says he or she has been abused, the first thing we do is listen to them and then move steps to help them accordingly. That's it.
Okay, now before we're gonna put an end to this, let's get on with the other organization. For example, the World Underground Wrestling. Yes, PWR. You guys had a good working relationship with PWR up until not ended because of sudden
Yeah.
CBL. But I need to know before we go there. I need to know which of you had the idea to bring him in at first place.
Well, we've been friends, especially me and Mike,
Mm.
Veronica Shannon. We've been
Mm-hmm.
friends with TBL, so we were always in touch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pero yung na-invite nyo siya, may part siya na
I don't
medyo
think
hesitate
I don't
siya.
think I don't think anyone like directly invited him.
Hmm.
There was no call like, hey, we want you here or something. What I remember is that he watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
He watched the show. I think that's the first show because there were two, right? That's the first show in Venice
Ayun, Venice,
Piazza.
doon ko siya
Yeah,
nakita for
yeah,
the first time in years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I
he
had a
watched
few
that show.
conversation with the man behind the CPL character, and he knows me a little bit. He asked me my name, Orlando Alejandro Zamora, like that, and yeah, but I don't know if he knows me by my famous name was Mayor, which was
Yeah.
Trian De La Torre's idea. No questions
Mm,
about it. Give
yeah,
credits to him and his wife for the idea of the show. Big time.
yeah,
Makikita
yeah,
niyo sa mga end credits mga bata.
yeah.
Yeah, you already saw Micah's episode, right? That I had.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I saw that and also Rosita Rosales' episode.
And Tristan Paul Creed. You're the fourth MWF
Oh,
guy to ano.
I haven't seen the Tristan. I have to see the Tristan Paul episode, the Tristan Creed
Mm,
episode. Love that guy.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the CBL thing. So I remember him watching that, and I invited him to sit with me
Mm-hmm.
sa ano sa production booth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, just to catch up. So we caught up, and then um, he met he met Tarek and Mike. So he met the administration, and we just and I was talking to Tarek, and I was talking to Veronica, and we were saying, you know what, if we had CBL in a show, do we have enough stories to tell with the guy? And do you think, we were asking each other, do you think that these are stories that are worth telling? And we all agree that yes, of course, we would have like enough stories to tell. And then of course the next question is, do you want are we okay with having CBL in the roster? And I guess it's a natural thing for me and Mike to say, yeah, let's give him a chance. We want to see how it goes. So it's not like a deliberate decision, like, oh, let's get CBL so that we will spark controversy or something. It's never that, and I don't think it was ever coming from that place. It's
Mm-hmm.
just me personally. It's just we wanted him there because we wanted to do things that we were not able to do in PWR with him
Ah,
because
yes,
we
na
had
gets
the
ko.
falling out.
Na
We
gets
had the
ko.
falling out. We
Mm.
were friends, and then you're not. Suddenly, you're not anymore. So you don't do things, and then you just have this idea of what if we could follow up on that and we can tell stories together, like the three of us in
Mm-hmm.
PWR. We were the three closest friends in PWR, and we were like, okay, then let's do it. Let's see what we can do. Like the three of us, what we can do, and then Tarek's okay with it, and then that's it. So I understand why the PWR guys were upset. Um, because in a way, I think it felt like we are invalidating their side of things, which was never, which was we never even talked about it. It's just three friends wanted to work with each other again,
You
and that's it.
explained him to them properly, right? You did or not yet?
To the PWR guys,
Hmm.
I haven't talked to them since.
Ah, yes. Mahirap
I guess
to. I,
there's too much of animosity after that. The
mm,
irony is the only guy that I talked to after that thing. Oh, there were two guys who were talked to. I'm not counting Ken Warren because Ken Warren is just a friend, and I know he's like neutral about it.
wait, Ken Warren and CBL were good friends too in real life, to say the least, because the first time I saw
I'm not sure.
CBL, yeah, they kind of had hug each other.
Yeah,
That was on PW Renaissance 2017, backstage scene like that. I see it. May
was that
sort of
after the thing? It
yes,
was after. It was after CBL was kicked
yeah.
out of the group.
Kasi
Okay.
nakita ko may kasama siya si Machine. And then may paralegal. And then some of the guys in PWR and my good friend of mine, Korean, were there. But that's as far as I know. It's just a bunch of paperwork and everything. And
Yeah. Again, let's not comment on things that we don't
we don't
know
even
and
know. I don't want to
things
go too
like.
far because I
Yeah.
think too much knowledge of that one could lead you to wrong information at times.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole of shit. But anyway, I'm saying that I only talked to two guys who were directly involved. One is JDL, and we both agreed. Like me and JDL and Tarek, we were talking about when we were talking to him when he was here, and we were just like, look, we're not gonna talk about the CBL issue, right? And we were like, okay, we're not gonna talk about it. The other one is Red. I talked to Red earlier because we had like a small confrontation on Twitter,
Ah,
and
yun.
I
Last year yata yun
yeah
eh.
yeah
Related to
I
CPL issue,
yeah
apparently.
because I was like, as someone who is being accused um of like calling them liars or dismissing their side of the story, which was never my thing. Um, but I could see where they're coming from. Again, I'm gonna say that again and again. But and so I had this small confrontation with Red Oliero on Twitter, and he got upset. So I said, okay, let's talk about it personally. So we had an exchange. We talked for a while. We didn't call each other up, but we were leaving voice messages with each other. Um, so that's it. And after that confrontation, uh, Red and we I apologized to him if he was because I made him upset, and that's fine. Christmas time last year, December 2019, he sent us a message saying, whatever happened to us last year is all water under the bridge, and that's it. I personally told him that that I don't even think about it that much, and I don't care. And it's good. It's a good thing that we're okay. So honestly, we have no beef right now.
That's good news.
Um, there is no beef between the two groups, at least on our side of things.
Mm.
So, yun. Going back to the CBL issue, I don't think it's something that we still talk about right now. I know a lot of people are still heavily opinionated about it, and that's fine. We can't
Some
do
people
anything
would
about it.
say CBL doesn't deserve to wrestle because of the way he thinks. So, but is this the CBL that they're talking about in 2016, or is this the CBL that's on the present? Well, we don't have the right to judge that one, okay? Because on my part, hindi ko kilala yung the man behind the CBL character, but I firstly believe na he's a good guy, but na-misdirect lang siya by all means. For some very serious reasons, but if one should ask me, would you like to work with CBL? I want to see what this guy can do. See if it works. Maybe comedy routine. I wouldn't want to go too far because how far more. You mentioned he's a far more serious guy than I am. Baka
No, he
pakwel.
can do anything.
Mm,
If you want him to do comedy, he will do it, and he will do it effectively. If you want him to do a serious promo, like just he did with the last After Novela TV taping, that was so fantastic. That promo he did with RG, both of those are really good. Um, so that's it. If some people from the PWR side think that he doesn't deserve to wrestle again, and they don't want to share the stage with him or whatever, I perfectly respect that. But
pero wag naman
my
masyadong personalan. Ganun lang simple, di
well,
ba?
I can't even blame them for that, because if the man behind CBL did something to them personally, which I don't know about, then it's fine for them to react on a personal level.
Because of the
Um,
Wool Batanes thing. Some of the guys did tell you the story about the Wool Batanes thing, right? Way back then,
I,
no?
I heard the story from both
Sides.
JBL and the CBL side at least. So I do know, I do have a picture of what happened there, which
Mm.
uh, in out of respect for both guys, like JBL and CBL, I don't want to discuss it publicly, because
It's
there are
very
things
delicate pa
that
yun.
are going to
Mm.
be tricky about it and
Ah,
stuff. But,
yes.
but all I can say is
Skip
that
na lang tayo na yun.
I
Kasi
can see
alam
a
ko,
picture. Yeah,
kasi we're not there, so who are we to judge anyway? If I were have
yeah,
a time machine, I would have
yeah.
secretly investigated a little bit, but I'm gonna keep this bits to myself. Should this is actually brutal in any given
I wish I
sense.
was there. I wish I was there.
I have a
That would be,
DeLorean in my there, pero
that would have been funny. But
speaking of which, WWPH, I mean, we're underground wrestling, and MWF had a good working relationship since WWPH first existed. So yung mga test shows nila, and then the main event, we have PWR's Crystal, we have MW's Luchadona, and we have SPW's Alexis Lee. I was
mhm.
there because I was taking place of Martin Vicencio on behalf of his show, Jabber Talk with Martin. I did two shows sa WWPH, or three of them. Tell yung side of my story. In according to what I witnessed, chronologically, but with also the help of the way they post it on YouTube, and the way they post the test shows on YouTube brings me back memories, very good memories, and I like their ano yung brand nila by all means. I mean, I just hope na after this nightmare is over, it's back to business, not only yung PWF, pati yung MWF, pati yung World Underground Wrestling PH. Because if we don't have any of this, our lives, I mean, we're full of sheer boredom shit, you know? Eh, ano naman yung titipan? Saka, alam ko, hindi, yung Philippine wrestling community dito, hindi naman siya yung tipong malaki, but still tight-knit talaga. Yes, we are entitled to our opinions and everything, but we had to know our fucking boundaries by all means. Believe it or not.
Pero,
And in the words
fandom for
of
always like that.
CBL, it is for your own good. I still haven't forgot that one, the PWR days. I'm not so sure
We're
if
here
you.
for everyone's good.
Yeah, I just hope that he could use the signature catchphrase again because to be honest, I missed it really. Pero if any of you guys dare to invite me to do a skit with CPL, you don't have to say na, well, you had to ask na, okay ka lang ba? Well, alam mo naman na open guy ako and go na go. I want to find out what I can possibly do a skit with CBL. But I had to control my laughter because I'm prone to some humors that beyond out of hand. And
Great
if
too. Never say never.
and also, if any of you have plans for me one day, you have to directly ask me, send me an invitation letter or sa Facebook na lang. Be frank about it. I mean, direct. And yeah, pero I would like to form my own stable na lang as a wrestling manager. Although yung character ko is based on my connection with the underground world society that has something to do with yakuzas, triads, and mafias. But
That's
I
an
had to know
interesting
them a
thing to
bit. I know
express.
you know a handful of that one kasi you're in the showbiz work and you know all the shit, so you wanna pass it on me like that. So I would create my own Rolando Alejandro Zamora and Associates. And believe it or not, I would like to have Tristan Paul Creed to be my first member, honorary member. As in, if he wants to improve his skills like that, he got his
You'll have fun with
manager
this. Huh?
and dito ni ibubulgar yung mga secretos na dapat niya malaman. And then, I like to have him an undefeated streak of his own. The idea of a championship, well, let's say, he had to earn first yung mga wins. And then when the time has come, if Tristan definitely goes to the level, even far more so than Frankie 13, of course. Okay, it's up to you guys if what you're gonna do to him and myself. But if any wrestling
Never say
organization
never.
asks me to, work with them, open ako syempre. But before that, I would like to observe everything on the backstage. And as a keeper of the deepest and darkest secrets of any living being, I would like to keep it to myself na. As one of my protocols of observing everything about the environment. That's my approach.
But you know what?
Mm.
It's good that we have like fans like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because we need fans who would be there and support our stories and then
Mm-hmm.
critique and study our stories. It's very that's the thing that I miss. Like amid this whole pandemic thing, the most I miss is that you write the shows and you direct the shows, at least sa production side on my end, or the MWF shows, and then people are gonna talk about it after, and then people are gonna break it down and talk about what they like, what they don't like. I miss that. I miss that a
Yeah.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I leave it up to that. I just want to do the MWF stories again when we're all back together. But uh, perfect timing then that I'm speaking about MWF today because we're also planning to look at the existing online the existing footage that we have. Like we have a lot of matches that we haven't uploaded yet. We've had a lot of shows that we haven't uploaded yet. And maybe as we wait for the whole COVID-19 thing to pass, we want to remind the fans that MWF is still up and running. So expect at least a few posts from us in the following months, in the following weeks. So yun. Manila Wrestling Federation dash MWF. If you're not following the page, then just follow it. We're gonna upload a lot of or a few new material that you haven't seen yet. We plan to upload some of them. Who knows? This month, maybe as early as this month. So, yeah.
Eh, kapag bumalik yung MWF, make sure wala kayong makukuha na idea na gagawa kayo ng news segment. What we call it, in my opinion, MWF News. And don't even think about getting to Brutal once it's Anchorman. Baka magiging kasalanan ninyo kung bakit sumikat ako bigla. At magiging victim ng mga wrestlers na they find me very irritating. I'd rather have CBL done that to me.
I'll put myself in the position and I'll get your I'll do an impression of you.
Mm-hmm. And beware, if I were a wrestling character, manager man or wrestler, my motto is try na rin mo yung something na madaling mahulog sa kanyang katarantaduhan. Ganun lang kasimple. Seriously, mahilig akong mag-traitor ng casino pagdating sa character ko. You know, why you dirty double-crossing son of a bitch? Okay, tama na yan mga kids. Wala na yung mga ending ng mga parts na to. Diretsoin na natin to. Kaya, kinaginoong William Elvin Manzano, maraming salamat sa iyo na dinadagdag mo yung number 1 plus 1. Magiging 11 episode na to sa, palabas na to since lalaking lalaki ka na you go one-on-one with me, the brutal one, Rolando Alejandro Zamora. Numero 1 pa rin sa syudad ng San Juan City, Metro Manila. Hindi si Robin Secuno whatsoever. Tama na yan, baka magiging overly serious na ako. Maraming sasabi sa akin na ang OA mo, bullshit. Oh, Beno, children, magpapakabait kayo. Pati kayo magsistay sa home. Kapag nalalabas, kapag may kayong kailangang gawin, hindi lang yung cover sa mouth niyo, pati yung shield. It's very important na. I'm gonna follow that protocol from now on. I had to tell my wife about this too kapag go grocery kami pero baka sa susunod pa. Pero hindi natin makapagsabi kung lalampas pa ang MECQ sa susunod na linggo ng Lunes, Martes, yes, Tuesday. So, Will, stay safe in Hong Kong and somehow kapag natapos na to, babalik ka rin dito and balik ang ligaya. Babalik ang ligaya. I hope that we could talk about what happened to Hong Kong next time, okay? So, Bueno.
Of course. Yeah.
Good night sa inyo.
Maraming salamat din.
At kapag hindi kayo sumusuporta sa Philippine Wrestling, dahil lang sa mga kaletsahan na yan, isa lang masasabi ko sa inyong lahat. Gusto mo sabihin? Wag na kayo. Total, yung sasabihin ko. Never mind. Jealote talaga kayo, mga tarantado. Pati yung mga DDS doon, ang over react ninyo pag susuporta kay Duterte. I just voted for him out of principles. Good night.